Hello everybody, welcome back to another Pilgrim's tutorial, and today we are going to be covering mid-game to end-game. So let's go ahead and go and start with mid-game. There are a couple of places in mid-game, but the gap between early game and end-game is not very big because mid-game is very short. So go ahead and follow this path because I'm going to be showing you guys the boss Kai Guy. And right over here is Kagai, where you can fight him, and once you defeat him, and you ask him to teach you something, he will reward you with the Kai Fists, which is a pretty good weapon for mid-game. It expends blue fire on hit, and more, so you guys should definitely come check out this boss. Our next area is going to be Patchland, where you should just follow this route that I take to get there. Here we are at Patchland. There are only one type of enemy here, which is the scarecrows. They're very tall and big. And the shopkeeper, which is Mr. Pumpkino. He sells scarecrow hat and armor and some pretty good weapons for mid-game, such as the haunted scythe and the wicker wreath. These two are meant for bows, so you guys go to town with this. Our next area is going to be Big Iron, which is right here to the left of Savannah. Over here, you will fight bosses such as Yagharoth, King Sandpod, Granny, Archmage, Thief King, Magma Turtle, and some other bosses like Pop-Off Pirate. So, you guys go to town, but here, there's a shopkeeper over here in the corner. Flash stepped over there or something, but here he is. You get big iron coins for beating the big iron, and you can buy all these sorts of pretty good accessories, weapons, bag of gems, and who else whatnot. Now, a more important area I'm going to show you guys is right here from Volcano. It is the deep desert, as you can see right here. It's a couple of stars. It's also right in front of the Sinister Sea, so you can take the Sinister Sea route as well. But just follow this route I take to get there. Over here is the deep desert. There are enemies here like sandpods, baby sandpods, that one's dead. There's more. And also the Daedalus drone, which is a more rare enemy for this part of the game. But in the first boss you'll encounter is King Sandpod right here. And the last boss you'll find here is the creepy crab right here. He does apply venom as well, just like the Viperhead boss. There are a few rare drops from here, such as the Sandy Flute, which drops from sandpods at a pretty rare chance. So let's go ahead and get onto our next area, which is the Pale Island. This isn't like a whole nother area, it's just a shopkeeper, so skip this part if you don't care for it. But he's located on this island pretty much just right behind the Sailord Island, right here. He's a vampire, and he sells some pretty good things like the Night Count, Vimkit, and Draining Steak. So our next area is going to be the Morning Hollow, which is an important area. Now, from Prairie, make sure to take this route that I take to get there. Right here in this hole is the Morning Hollow, so make sure to come down here. And there is a village here, so follow this route that I take to get to the village. We are here in the village of Ravine, and right here is the mirror. So, some shopkeepers here are Limo, which he sells some pretty good things, such as all that, and the T-Man, which is located right down here in this waterfall. Oh, I low-key died, but he's right there in there. Now, there are a few NPCs or enemies here in the Morning Hollow, such as pretty much just the Tree Lad. and the Chalkman, which is right here, little mini boss. Now for quests here in the Morning Ravine, there is Limo, which you can take a quest from him, and he will tell you to find his lost toolbox. So just follow this route I take to go find it. Right here should be an NPC where if you talk to him, he is in possession of the toolbox. And the quest reward you get from this is a key, which I will be showing you guys what it is used for very shortly. And it is actually used for our next area, which is the scariest area in the game, the Catacombs. I'll be having a full guide for you guys anyway, so don't worry. If you talk to him and you get the key, just follow this route I take to use it. Right here is the area, and you follow this route to get to Catacombs. There is parkour, so watch out. And once you come here, there should be a gate in which you can open with the key Limo gives you. And the mirror is right here. Now, some enemies that you can find in this place are Cleric, Letos, Twig Faces, Twig Wraiths, the Jailer, and the Meat Creeps. And the first boss here is the Grave Tree Lad. And last but not least, Cata. I'm going to be showing you guys how to get the first lever. Just follow this path that I take. Right down here, the waterfall area, make sure to take a hard left. Should be a little entrance right here. Just follow this little path. Should be another cave right about here. Oh, even I messed up. Just complete this middle maze. And once you're out, you should be about right here. Just watch out for the little Leto. Right here. Should be here. You just come this way. You can kill those guys, but you don't have to. His entrance is right here. Dodge that guy. And about, somewhere over here should be a rope. Yeah. Just climb up this rope. And don't fall like how I did. And you should be here. Just come along this way and try not to die. And past this tree should be your first lever. And you're about right here. That's the easy part. And now, probably the harder part is you're going to have to fight the grave tree boss that I showed you guys earlier. Just come this way. Basically back through the way you came. Until you get to here. And follow this path that I take. Come up through there with the ladder. Well, you come down through there. And then, right here. You get shot so much, bro. Wait, what? Hold on. I gotta chill here for a second about that. And you just come through here, and literally all you do is just go up as high as you can. Until you are about here, and you jump up here, come this way, or you can come up through the same little spot, and it should be up here, and then you can just jump here or glider until you're here at the Grave Tree boss. Now you will have to fight it your first time to kill it, And once you already killed it, you can just come around here, and here is your second lever. So let's go show you guys the third lever. And now for the third and final lever, just take this path that I go. You should end up in here, where the jailer is. Now this is a very dark portion, so I would recommend having the torch and having your brightness up so you can watch for the jailer, because he will insta-kill you. I just made a full circle. But basically, once you're here, gonna wait for him to pass, and you come this way, and then you just go straight right, and then here is the third and final lever. And once you're here, you can honestly just reset. And what these levers did was grant you access to the boss Cata. So if you come back this way, same exact route, and here, this gate should be open, and you can go fight Cata. So have fun with that, guys. Now for the fun part, you have to have a gemstone pickaxe, which you get from him, from Dennett here in Savannah. And there are 3 mushrooms you have to break to grant access to Old Fart. So just follow this route. There is a shopkeeper here that sells some okay items, but they're always going to be marked by a mushroom. And if you mine this, there should be a sigil. That's the first of the 3. Now the second of the 3 is right here outside of the elite barracks. So follow this route. Right here, in front of the abandoned lighthouse. You break this wall right here, and boom, there's your second one. Now for the third one. Now this third one is all the way in the deepest part of the Cloud Wilds. So go ahead and follow this path that I'm going to take there. Right here is your last area, marked by that little mushroom over there. And you just come here, break this wall, and there's your third and final sigil. So now, make your way over to the ravine. Now to make it easier, you can just come right through this hole into the Morning Hollow, and you just follow this path. Right here should be a wooden board that you can go behind. Now, there is parkour here, so take it easy and don't die. You can only do this once, I'm just kidding. And right here, fall down. The mirror is right here, make sure to get that. And you just open this gate. And you fight Old Fart over there. And now, we are going to do guilds because you gain access to every single guild pretty much once you defeat Old Fart. So let's go ahead and start with the Elite Knights. Now, if you're this far into the game, I'm going to assume you've already joined them or something. But if you haven't already, to join their guild, you have to come down here to Forest, all the way on the side, pretty much just over here. And you have to beat 2 quests, Down in Flames, which is the Volcano quest, and the Outlaw Torn, which is the Desert quest that you can join. There are a few techniques that you can get here, such as Arrow Rain, Elite Guard, which should be given by Cal over here once you hit Master Rank. And I believe, I think it's given by Garth, the guy up in Cloud Wilds, or Cloud City. He will give you the Twisted technique once you have defeated the skeleton. That is just about it though, so I'm going to show you guys the Chaos Guild. Outside here is pretty much just the Sinister Sea. This is where I am on the map. for those who want to know where this is, there should be an NPC out here named Raphael, and his quest requires you to get 1 normal claw and 100 chaos essence. You can get chaos essence all around, like from Patchland Grove, from the scarecrows, and you get the normal claw from Nebraska. And pretty much normal crystal is what summons him, and his drops allow you to get a normal claw pretty much at a decent chance. So look at this, Mr. Normal, 100% chance, yep. And you get pretty decent chaos essence, so if you don't have any, you can just ask someone to spawn him in a bunch for you. And now, to actually join this guild, you have to come up here and talk to Raphael pretty much again, and you can make him your guild. And the way you get XP from this guild is pretty much from either just killing things out in the wild, or the main way, which is beating rifts. And he will give you also a chaos recorder to go find these rifts, which is pretty much the starting quest for this guild. This man right here, Wes, will give you like pretty much locations of different like pretty much just different places that the rifts spawn. And as you defeat them, you can get mini items, such as pretty much all of these: the Evil Needle, Tekata Arc, Helmet, and Twisted Cage. These are all things you get from ranking up. These are the base items. And there are a few enemies and bosses from these rifts. Jim is one of them. He's a bounty hunter who drops an Ostwell and Lightless Cavalier. Lost Masks, Lost Guys, pretty much just dropping all this. And pretty much just a few other base enemies I do not want to go over because I do not want 2 rifts. But this is a pretty fun guild. So onto the Kai Legion. The Kai Legion is located here in Dark Green Retreat, over here in the Sinister Sea. This is the location. There will be parkour here, so you can probably just skip that. And this door will not open if you have not killed Old Fart yet, by the way, which is the reason why I've done all the guilds after Old Fart. And make sure to get the mirror, because that is very important. And once you get in with this, I will show you the route to actually get into the place. Here is the entrance to the Kai Legion. You should have a very long cutscene once you come through the sword. But basically, Lazurai, right there, will be out here, and you should be able to talk to him and fight him. He is one of the hardest bosses in the game right now, I would say, for those of you who are new-ish. But he drops some pretty good things, like the pinwheel and more. And down in here is the shop for everything. You get the Kai Warrior to the Ceremonial Great Blade from just leveling up the guild, and these are the base items. And pretty much there are other NPCs here. The other NPCs are in here. Kai Bai and Kai Guy. Talk to Kai Bai, he will talk about his greatsword, which is actually this. It is a pretty good greatsword compared to other ones. There are better options in endgame, but it is still a good sword nonetheless. Probably one of my favorite ones because it's pretty unique. So let me go ahead and show you the location. Let's follow the strat that I take. You will need the Legion key that Kai Bai gives you though as well. Should be a hole in the wall right here. And if you come through, there will be a door that you need the Kai Legion key to get into. And then in here, encased under the rubble here, there should be his Ceremonial Great Blade. So make do with what you go with that. And if you go back to him, he will have you some special dialogue, and now you have a new weapon. And now, the way you actually level up in this guild is through PvPing with the guy in Savannah. So you basically just fight people, and you get about 1,000 Kai Legion XP every time you fight somebody. So every time you 1v1, over here, go to Savannah. The best way to actually get XP is, one, just fighting people normally, fight the same guy until you get to the end, ask for help, or just do what I did, which is pretty much just get an alt account. And then that's basically that's everything that there is in the Kai Legion. So let's just go ahead and go to the Eggroost then. We are here, and it's here in the Sinister Sea. You just talk to Maro Metro, and he makes you your main guild. And to get quests for this, you can talk to Billy to get help. which is pretty much the main way. He will ask you to go test a weapon on certain people or whatnot, which is kind of a pain. And through Boil, which he will give you techniques for this and everything. Every time you beat one of his quests, he will give you a technique, so on, so forth. And the items you get from ranking up in this guild is pretty much just the dual Bosca, cannon, 6-shooter, and electro fork, and I think the scrap lance as well. But that's practically all there is to the observatory guild, so let's go ahead and go to the winner, our very next area. Starting from Cloud City, you have to come and follow this route. You pretty much just go forward, and there is no mirror for this place. Here is the Isle of the Recital, with a few NPCs such as Gale, the Golem over here. It's a pretty interesting character, and other various NPCs that you can talk to. The beds are right here, but Gale will give you a quest, and that is to find their lost necklace here in the mountains. So there are various locations. You can search up the tutorial to go find this, but here, he's gonna kill me, honestly. I'm sorry. He killed me. But I'll go ahead and show you the locations of this, because it spawns differently for every single person. So our first location is pretty much just up here. And this is the very first location, right here. So, and our next location is pretty much just going to be this way. Up here. Past this bushwalker and the big old thing. And it should be right down here. Right here in this little corner is our second location. And from here, our next location is pretty much just going to be back up. Remember, it spawns differently for every single person. Should be about this way. Make sure to get past the bushwalker and everything. Up here. Back here in the back side of the mountain. And it should be right here. This is the third location. And the other one is pretty much just right here. They're like right next to each other. The very next one is literally also like right beside it almost. Should be literally right down here. This drop. Very quick and easy. The next location is gonna be closer to the mountain, so just like reset and go back or something. And you pretty much just follow this route. And I believe it should be right here. This is almost the last location. But anyhow, once you go back to the winner, which I'm gonna go ahead and time skip back. And now, once you talk to Gale, he should let you in, but he's still gonna kill me again. And I'm gonna show you guys where the bosses are. You should spawn right here. So some enemies here are the Mucks, Strays, Oracles, and that's pretty much every single normal enemy that you can find here. Over here, I'm going to show you the location of some NPCs that are very important, as you can say. So, starting from here, the spawn, if you go this path, pretty much this way, and then you take a left, up here, there's the elevator, but you can ignore it, and just come back around here. This is one of two NPCs here that are important to the Clash of Faiths quest. If you talk to the Bell and you finish this quest, he will reward you with the Bell technique, which is pretty good for the Bell. And our next NPC is pretty much going to be right next to it, but it's going to be over here in the town. I do suggest putting your spawn here because this is closer to everything. And you just come through this town here, ignore the cathedral, over here, drop down here, go under here, and into here. There is an oracle that's going to die, and he should give you a quest. I don't know why I'm like just a pitch singular color, but he should give you one, and I do suggest doing this guy's quest first before the Bell Saints, so you can get every single item. So now for the bosses. In the same town that you passed through a second ago, this cathedral, if you go the other way, pretty much the opposite way, but you go right, all the way in the back, here will be a ladder. And if you come up here, you should be able to fight the Snow Cultist boss. Just drop it right down in there. Now for the next boss, which is the False Believer. From here, you pretty much just go back this way. And you just follow this path. I do suggest using a glider once you're down here because you will take fall damage. And through here, you will be able to fight the False Believer. And there's also an NPC right here, Erebus, here in the far corner. He's one of the few people who aren't infected by that same mask that everyone else has on. But that's pretty much just an Easter egg kind of character, because the strays are attacking him. But that's just about it for the winter. So now for the new area, JUNKPITS. Here in the village of Ravine, if you talk to Ul, once you're soul level 13 by the way, and you have killed Old Fart, you should be able to access it, and he will take you down to Lichenshire. And if you talk to him, there will be some NPCs you have to recruit, such as Betsy, she's in the Elite Knights, Boyle from the Observatory, Deimos, which is from the Cultists, and inside the Town Hall is Kaibai from Kai Legion, Talvern and Billy from Observatory, and Trinks, also from the Elite Knights. So, also spoiler, so if you want to beat this before you figure this out, skip this part, but also Lorcan. So, this man right here is one of the few bosses, very cool, and he pretty much is new dialogue, pretty much, new lore, and he adds a technique to the board. And Betsy and Limo are shopkeepers here, giving you weapons, and you unlock more weapons as you go through. And Boyle has a technique board, which has many techniques on there that you can obtain. And Deimos tells you where landfill bosses are located. So, let's just go ahead and get on to the quest. Betsy gives you a quest, which she asks you to go get a Verde scale from the Verde Queen. So follow this path I take to go ahead and beat that boss. Up in here is the Malachite Springs, which is the place you can mine malachite from, the best place to mine malachite from. Some enemies that are in here are the Verde bugs, and the Verde Queen, which is right down there if you want to fight that boss and get the scales. Doing this quest will grant you this ability, the Morline, which is basically just another movement ability. And that is one of two quests here in Lichenshire. So another quest is going to be Highway Sun, so follow this path I take to go do his quest. Okay, pretty much once you get here to Mount St. Rhubarb, Highway Sun will be here and he will give you a quest to come up into the library and collect a book. So follow this path to get said book. Once you're in here, you just take a sharp right, and pretty much this one that's holding a purple book, which is relevant to the quest. Pretty much you just hit the statue a few times. 6 times. You can talk to this guy, he tells you what to do. There should be a secret entrance down here. There will be a guy right there, but if you just come and search all of these bookshelves, including these ones, you should be able to get the purple book he was talking about. And he will give you a torn autograph, which pretty much just gives you hints on the locations of many different paintings that this guy talks about for the cathedral. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put you a link at the top right, okay? And it's gonna be a full Mistgiving guide, which will branch off from this quest. Now, here in Lichenshire, there are quite a few enemies, such as these annoying pesky bees, the lithwords, which are passive, metalheads, medic crabs, and that's pretty much all of the enemies here. So, things you can mine here are Chromite, which is a little dark hole right there. This is the only place where you can mine it, is here in the Mire of Iron. And there's also magnet moors located over there somewhere. So let's go ahead and make our way to the landfill this way. And now, if you follow this path that I take, you will be able to get to the Scavenger Place's mirror. Here is the Scavenger Place, and the mirror is located right inside this door, right here. And now there are a few shopkeepers here. Well, actually just one. This greedy guy has all this and the cool wrench, which are semi-okay items, but no Wormaid. Wormald. He has some very expensive items, $60,000 worth, so this is probably the most expensive NPC here. But this is the second shopkeeper. And it is this guy. These guys. They will tell you to go find their package, so just take this path to go find said package. And his package should be just about right there. And just bring it back to him, and you'll get the reward for the quest. Now, there are many enemies here located in the landfill, such as chalkmen, oxide longworms, which are digging up right now, graphite knights, and storm nobles. There's also the landfill bosses, which I'll go ahead and put on screen right now. Boom, bop, boom, bam. So, they spawn just about over here, and in another 2 spots. So this is the next little spot right here. Now we are going to show you guys how to get to Factory Approach, which is our next area, believe it or not. You have to come this way, pretty much the entire route we just followed, this way. And just follow this route. There's also this freak in here, but the creep, yeah, literally a creep, bro. He is an annoying enemy. He drops a pretty bad hat, but he's just there, another mob. And this is the factory approach. Follow this route to get to the mirror. right in here. The mirror's right here. So this NPC here, Wolfgang, he's the only shopkeeper here in Factory Approach. He sells some gun items, but the quest he gives you will practically have you killing the mobs that are here. Icarus drone and some Daedalus drones. Some other mobs that are also here is the Sledge Doctor and these rusty robots. Right here. Multi drones. And the boss that is located here is the Rusty Pig. Semi-hard boss, but defeating him grants you access into Cronus' factory, which is our next area. Here at Cronus' factory, once you come in, just follow this route I take to get the mirror. Located right here. The shopkeeper here is right here as well. He sells some pretty good weapons and armor. So some enemies you can find here are the factory drones, the Icarus drone as well, but this one's dead. Sharks, hopper ants, the prism troll and boulders, and the Gemini drone. And talking to this tier drone will give you pretty much a quest to get 3 key cards: a red one, a green one, and a blue one. So let's go ahead and get in the path of all 3 of them. So come this way to get the first one. This is where you get the blue key card. Interacting with this machine here after the prism troll manages to get in. So, on to our next one. Starting from here, just take this route. The next one is from this boss, the Candle Knight. He drops it upon death. He's a very cool boss, so on to our next one. Our next location will be this way, so starting from the mirror, just follow me. And this is where our final keycard is, guys. So, once you come back to this terrarium AI, or like Overseer Shelly, she should open the gate for you, and you will encounter pretty much one of the final bosses of JUNKPITS as a whole. So, up here, you will have to kill a boss named pretty much the Millenium Chimera, right over there. It is a very difficult boss, until you get the hang of it at least. And once you defeat it, you just come over here, and you should be able to just click this button. And you will be here, inside of Cronus's like factory area. So, there's many different things in here, Easter eggs, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, such as those notes. But pretty much just follow this route to get the mirror. In here is the mirror, and also the final meeting that Rhubarb had. So, some interesting places here are Cronus's Crazy Challenge, which awards you with 2 sets of blueprints for items and a cosmetic, and the Forgotten Star Shore, probably the most beautiful area here. But some enemies here are the Moon Grub, the Plasmilk, and the Cosmic Boils. For the factory sanctum itself, you have these robots which explode, and you can kill them, but they don't drop anything. So my gun's being weird. Why I'm holding it like that anyway? But the only NPC here is Kronos' mind, which is located right here, and you can talk to him. So that's pretty much everything that is here in JUNKPITS. So let's go ahead and do the last guild, the Post-Pescatarian Archives. Starting from here at the Scavenger Place, follow this route to actually get there. And now we have basically arrived. Here you will have to fight a boss named Lorcan to actually gain access to this guild. But to join said guild, the requirement is fish one of every fish up in the overworld and not one from the JUNKPITS, and just put it here in this onyx bowl. So once you do, this will happen. Now, to get the mirror for this place, follow my way. The mirror is right here, and to join this guild, you come over here and talk to this person, Latene. Basically, once you have a full dialogue with him, asking questions that you cannot answer, you can ask if you want to join the guild, and he will allow you to join the guild. This guild is heavily based on fishing, and the quests are issued by Gordon, which is also here on the 3rd floor. He'll pass you a fishing quest pretty much. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys where every single location for these places are. But first, this guy is also the guy who sells this. This is pretty much everything. Everything here is unlockable as you level up through the guild, up to master rank. Fish that are located pretty much just out here is jewelfish and radiant trout, so this is where you would fish those. And now Murk Tusks are actually a different store. They are over here. You have to follow this route that I take. Over here is a pool of oil, which you can fish from. This is an okay place to get things like onyx as well, if you need to fish up any onyx for anything that you need. Now, Deepwell Jellyfish, you fish here in the Mire of Iron. Pretty much right behind Lichenshire, this is the best place to mine that. And for the last two fish, Poseidi and Hallowed Silver, you pretty much just have to come here to Factory Sanctum, and you just have to come out to Forgotten Star Shore, and come out here. Here you can fish, this place has the highest chance to fish a Poseidi, which are kind of rare jellyfish, and also Hallowed Silver, so that's pretty much it. Now, the next location where you fish blabbermouths and other fish here is in the St. Rhubarb's painting, over here in, what's it called? It's over here under the painting where Mount St. Rhubarb is. So just follow this route that I take to actually get to the fishing location. Here is where you can fish for pretty much blabbermouths and painted carp. This is a place where you would fish those. This is one of the more nice places to fish because, I mean, it's Canvas the Golden Vista. This place is beautiful, man. Like, look. This is beautiful, I swear. But anyhow, that is pretty much everything that the Post-Pescatarian Archives has to offer. So I'll walk you through what they give you rank by rank. So pretty much, they give you these in this order as I'm clicking them, as you rank up. Tin Calamity and Umibozu you get from pretty much being master rank. Mandoria and Tapestry is from being the rank under. And then these three, I don't know, Temple is the same as Tapestry and Mandoria. But these are pretty much the first two things that you will get. Very good weapons, very fun guild. This guild is literally just fishing. So I do recommend getting the Rod of Kings for the first fishing quest guide that is like right outside the Elite Knights or pretty much the Big Bay Mirror. So you guys have a nice time with this. But now that is pretty much the end. That's everything this game has to offer plus more. You can build every single weapon that you want, so on and so forth, dude. But there are many quests that you are probably going to miss, so make sure just check out the wiki for that. Any questions, throw them down in the comments. Yes, this is going to be a long video compared to my other videos, because this covers all of, pretty much the short mid-game and all of mid-game pretty much. So you guys have a nice time. Make sure to like and subscribe, and bye!